What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. Kind of back on it, kind of not back on it. We're at The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 5. I don't even know the actual title of the episode. I just know it's Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln's quote-unquote final episode. We used to have Walking Dead on the channel, but kind of like how the past seasons have gone with their ratings going down on TV. The views just weren't really picking up, and we weren't really getting much engagement in the comment section, so we just kind of cut it from the channel. But still watched it every single Sunday, and it's like, even though the seasons weren't as good as they used to be in the past, you've invested like so much time. You just want to see the direction of the story and how the story ends. So I've been keeping up with it, watch every single Sunday, and I'm not gonna lie, last episode, like when Rick was having his last conversation, who knows if they're really gonna be his last conversations, but he was like having conversations with Carol and Eugene, and the way they were kind of already promoting like how you knew how like it was coming to an end. I was getting like, when he was like letting Eugene know like, no man, like you did what you could, like don't feel bad, I was like, oh, my heart. I brought this up before, and if you watched any of my like Avengers trailer reactions and stuff like that, I guess it's harder in this day and age, I don't know, but I wish it wasn't publicly known that these were going to be his last couple episodes, because it takes a, like, we're already expecting it, and like it would be what's even more crazy is like AMC's promoting it. They're promoting it in like when last week's episode ended, they put it like in the after screen titles. They've been hyping it up on like their Twitter, like Rick Grimes final episode. Like I understand maybe that would have gotten leaked either way, who knows. And people's contracts and stuff are so like public, not like specifics, but like when contracts are up, it's so publicly known. And just like last year how they killed off Carl's character, it kind of was like a buzzkill that it's been like you knew when it was going to happen. Like you knew episode 4 and 5, like those were the last two. It's like you didn't have to bring it, like you could have just hit us with the shock factor. And when I'm talking about Avengers, the reason I brought that up was because like I love Avengers Infinity War, but it was so hard to take those deaths seriously because, like I said, it's already publicly known. We're getting a Spider-Man 2. You're getting a Black Panther 2. There's going to be a Doctor Strange 2. So like when I was watching it in theaters, I'm like, oh wow, some of my favorite characters died, but it's like, I know they're not dead. You know they're not dead because they've already signed a contract for their second installment of the movie. So it's like, it still looks good on screen, but it won't hit as hard knowing a death is already going to happen, or a death doesn't really count, or there's no consequences, etc., etc. So going into this, I'm still hyped. I'm still interested to see what happens. I mean, it's been his story, so I'm really interested to see what happens to kind of the show ratings, the show quality, and just if these other actors and actresses are going to be able to really carry this show. I don't know really. I kind of know a little bit about the comics, but I don't know if like Negan's going to be broken out anytime soon. I'm trying to figure like, how can the show still, draw viewers? Because I know it's been struggling the last couple seasons. This season has been great so far. I've loved it. The first couple episodes. Now, is that because we've had non-recency biased, meaning we haven't had The Walking Dead for months and it's like back on, so it's like, oh yeah, these first couple episodes are good. Are they really good, or are they not? They've got a new screenwriter, so like the writing has been good and the dialogue has actually been better. It's just really going to be interesting to see which direction the show goes, because I don't read the comics, but I know just from when it happened in the comics, it's like Carl's story, or Carl like takes over and he leads it. So I could see that, like the story having to go on at some point and Rick not being able to live forever, and like Carl takes over, but that man's dead, he's not coming back. Negan's locked up in prison. I don't see how he would get out. I mean, it's a TV show, I'm sure he can get broken out, or how he would get out of Alexandria alive. So I know they're talking about bringing in like the Whisperers or whatever, but it's like, are you really going to be invested in a story if it's just like led by Maggie, Daryl, and Carol, and like Ezekiel? against like a new threat, because like we don't even have a Morgan in the story anymore. He's gone off and doing whatever his Fear the Walking Dead stuff. So it's like, as hyped as I am for this episode, and I'm still going to watch, of course, because like I said, you've invested so many, like 9 seasons into this, years and years into this show, that like, who's probably the most random character? Like, if it just ended up being Tara, like if she was the only character we knew left on screen, everybody else died. Carol, Daryl, Maggie, Ezekiel. Geez, like if everybody died and Tara was the only one left, I would still watch, because I have to see how this ends. But I'm interested to see like how the show's going to be carried on. Now again, I mean, you can't blame Andrew Lincoln. Again, I don't know the specifics. I don't know if it's a contract run out thing or he's kind of overplaying the same character. I think it got announced earlier tonight before the episode came out that he signed on for a 3-part movie as Rick Grimes. I don't know if that's, I have no idea what the movies are going to entail. Are they going to kind of be like an AMC exclusive thing? Are they actually going to be in theaters? Like how they're going to be produced? Is it kind of how his life was before the apocalypse? Is it during? Do we pick up with him after? Does he actually die? Or does he kind of get taken away? Like, does Jada send him away? Or Anne, as we're referring to her now, does she save him and put him on the helicopter? I don't know. Because the only 2 people or 3 people we know of from our point of view that have seen that helicopter are Anne, Rick, and Negan. Rick had been seeing it like when he would be out scouting or whatever on his horse, but nobody else saw it but him, or at least that's what we thought. Jadis has seen it, and Negan saw it when she was trying to kill him or whatever. But we've been talking for 7 or so minutes. I'm interested to see what happens. I don't know how emotional this is gonna get. I know we're gonna have a lot of flashbacks and callbacks, and I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna have just old scenes of like Shane and maybe Lori, or do they actually bring back those actors and actresses for some flashback scenes? I know the actor that played Herschel died before this season started, I think, so that's really unfortunate. But I think my biggest question going into this is who carries the show, and how much longer can this show go on without Rick? Well, or not even without Andrew Lincoln. How much longer can this show go on? I don't know, but let's do it. We're pressing play on the episode, guys. And again, it's only gonna be if this episode is like really good. There's, because you know you can only put up 10 minutes of non-copyright, and we already have a strike on the channel. If this episode's really good and I just can't condense it down into 10 minutes, I'll put 2 parts up, and they'll both go up like Monday, Tuesday. But if we can cut it down into 10 minutes, we'll cut it down into 10. But if it's just too good, I don't want to like waste reaction just to try to fit that 10-minute budget. We'll split it into 2. So let's do this. We're pressing play right now. It'd be so crazy if Morgan came along and found him.
Wake up. Yeah, wake up, asshole.
How in the hell does he possibly get out of this? He's got to unimpale. You're lucky the horse didn't run off. Does he rip it out from the side? No way he goes through that much skin. He's got to go straight back off of it how he came on. There's no way he rips that out the side. What the fuck? Oh, fluff me, daddy. He has to get back on that horse. The chances that that horse didn't run off are insane. Holy herd. I thought he fell right back off. I was like, wow. Okay, so unless he gets like attention here, medical attention, the man will bleed out. Hmm. Here we go. Okay, these definitely aren't old scenes. Like they reshot these for sure.
Come on, Rick, look around. You know what this is.
I can't tell actually.
Those the idiots we were chasing?
Attaboy. Dispatch said there was 2 suspects, right? Yes, there was. Third man. Changed everything, didn't it?
I've always wanted to know how the story would have gone if Shane would have lived,
I'm looking for my family.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
but there's no way
For your family, man.
the group would have made it this far with him
That's not
alive.
entirely true. One could argue it's my family you're looking for, right?
Not with his
How
mental
is my
state.
baby girl, by the way?
Wow.
In my eyes, doesn't she?
She hasn't got you no.
Good thing she ain't got my ears, man.
Like I feel like he could have been
Yes,
of
I am.
use
Yes,
versus
I
like
am.
Negan and versus the
Same as
governor
you.
and whoever else, but
Think I'm an asshole.
who's to say the group would have ever made it that far
I like to take credit for that, actually.
if he was still alive?
I'm sure others did influence you, but I'd like to take full credit. I didn't want it. I just took it, right?
Mm.
Boy, that shit you did in that field. Just you and me.
I'm getting season 1 and 2 flashbacks when those two were trying to talk it and work it out but couldn't.
Stepped up, brother.
It had to be him.
Still has to be. Yeah, I see Rick. Yeah, then.
She's standing right there in front of the gate. Yes. Great. Oh Lord, how does this go down?
Maggie? Get out of the way.
Oh God, we didn't even
To turn this
try to like sugarcoat it.
for me.
It's not as satisfying when he's like that.
No. No.
It's not as satisfying killing him when he's in that state. She wants to kill.
Why?
She wants to kill the Negan.
Kill Negan.
Yeah, that's not Negan.
You're already worse than dead.
Mm. That's why he was egging her on so much. The Negan that we first saw whistling in the woods and killing Abraham and Glenn, that man's gone.
It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Is he about to overpower her and just run?
It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Don't fall off the horse. Is that the barn at Herschel's farm? Wow. Look at that man, Herschel.
Hey,
That voice, man. That voice.
look at this.
He didn't want to lose the bridge, but it looks like he doesn't have a choice. Oh. Oh. Jesus.
Yes, it is.
I can't tell if it's real or not now, actually. Now that he's brought.
I'll wake up.
Oh. Fuck, it wasn't real. Man can't catch a break. Is that real? I don't know. He's over here getting blessed like right before they eat his ass.
I found him.
Was he close enough for that explosion, or? Yeah, and the ones that didn't explode are just gonna walk across and fall right in. If they didn't have enough noise to bring them over, it will now. They're just gonna go in and flood on down. I don't know where that leads. Hopefully that water doesn't lead anywhere close to any of the civilizations. Like, I don't know if he really did die right there in that explosion, but the fact that they had to do it in front of everybody's eyes and... Oh, Fluff. There's her A.
I have a B.
Or B.
Not an A. I never had an A. He's hurt, but he's strong. Can you help him?
I warned you there'd be consequences if you tried something.
Wow. Okay, they're touching down. Are we actually going to see who's in there? What is this, music right now? Like, I'm so, like...
You're still here. You're gonna be okay. I'm gonna save you.
Drifting on the spaceway by the Beatrice Hotel, mapping out constellations.
Come on this way! Clear!
Go! 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 Go!
I don't know who these people are, but some time has passed. Has it been a couple months? Has it been... It's been years.
Magnus.
That's
Honey,
Judith.
Kelly. Hey, McKellen, look.
That is Judith.
It's yours.
Judith. Judith Grimes.
I don't know how I feel about that. Because it's like, is that it?
Check out what.
Or actually we could just do that. So but it was hard to really see how I felt about that ending because Rick's not dead. And we kind of in that like see what's coming up next in the next 3 episodes. It kind of hinted at maybe Michonne is still kind of well, that's another thing. I don't know if I'm guessing they've completely accepted that that man is dead since it's been, let's talk about it's been years. What do we figure Judith was beforehand? 5 or so, and she's what, maybe there 9. So like I'm gonna say what 3 to 5 years have passed. And what always like was gonna trip me out because I figured this is what was gonna happen. Anne was gonna be the one to find Rick, and they were gonna go away in the helicopter. There could be a number of factors, but me and I feel like the audience knowing Rick, and how like his goal from the minute she was born was to be around Judith, save Judith, get the future for Judith and Carl and pretty much all that, and make sure like that was taken care of. Like, and he wanted to see the plan through, and like Michonne and Daryl and Carol, like that's his family. So I have a really hard time wrapping my head around him not being stitched up, healed up, and not making his way back to the camp, to DC, to Alexandria, to the Hilltop, to the Sanctuary. Now, who knows where they are is the question. I'm figuring if they're in walkie-talkie range, they can't be, I mean, we're talking a flight here because you're on a helicopter. It can't be more than, I don't know, a couple days ride if you had a car, or anything like that. Maybe 2-3 days max. If they're in walkie-talkie distance, like they were in distance with Anne all the time, and they were able to communicate with her and barter and trade things, they couldn't be states away. So I figure they've got to be in a couple 5 to 10 mile radius. So you figure if that's where Rick is, how in that 3 to 5 year time skip jump did he not make his way back at all? Because I feel like the number one or number two things that he holds dearest in this world is Judith, and then the rest of the people, the Michonne, and seeing like the group through. Like the Judith has connections to Lori, to Carl, to Shane, and so like again, I don't know if they're maybe on an isolated island, or some lake front proper. I don't know if they're behind 50 feet walls and he has no way of like getting out. Maybe once you get brought in, you're not allowed to escape. I don't know what the A and B difference is. I don't know anything about that at all. So I don't know the circumstances. Maybe he's not allowed to leave. Maybe once you're brought in, you're not allowed to leave. I don't know why they would want to keep you. I don't even know who I'm talking about. Who I'm referring to is taking people and trading human lives for what you get in exchange. I guess supplies and food. I don't know. But I don't see. So it makes me want to think, like, when are we actually going to revisit the Rick Grimes story? I don't have a problem with the time jump, like seeing the older Judith there and all that kind of stuff. I have a problem just time skipping that, and I mean, they have to, like, somebody, whether it's like Jesus or Maggie, give me like a 2-minute speech of like, maybe they're like, oh, we came across this new group of people, should we let them in? And Maggie says something to the extent of like, well, you know how it's been the last 3 years here. We've been doing this over here and that over here, and we've grown crops over here, and just give me like a quick 30-minute summary of what's happened in the past 5 years so we can all be caught up to speed. I don't feel like we're gonna flash backwards, but somebody narrate it for me. We had to have that. A. B, it looks like we're getting this whispers thing because Aaron was like, have you ever seen zombies do that? And Jesus and Daryl were like, never. And Eugene made the comment that zombies are evolving, which clearly they're not. I don't know anything about the comics or the whispers. I just know that I don't know if they disguise themselves as zombies, actually put like, I don't know if they cut zombie skin off and put it on them, but I feel like we're talking about diseases there and how you don't like contract anything. I don't know that as well. I don't know anything about that, just from the previews. But Judith is older. She's walking around with his hat, Michonne's sword, or some kind of sword. She has a revolver of some kind. I don't think it's Rick's, because again, he shot that. It looks like he fell in the water, flowed down. But it looks like there's a pretty decent size. Like, I don't think they got rid of all that herd there. Even if the herd washed into that water, it didn't look like it was this big, deep lake or ocean that it led to. Just some kind of like inlet, kind of low lake. Because we saw Rick wash up on the shore or whatever. I don't really know what to make of the episode. It was great to see like Herschel, and we got to see Sasha's character and Shane's character. I was really hoping for a Lori scene and a Carl as well. But see, again, like, I don't know what the contract negotiations are. I know there was that huge just Twitter drama blow up of when Carl's real life actor was ended and how they didn't want to bring him back or pay him or XYZ. So I doubt he was in this final Rick episode plans. I don't even know the last time he mentioned Lori Rick in the actual show. Shane didn't even bring her up in that little flashback. So I don't know, like, if they planned to put her in or she was never in the plans. That would have been kind of cool. I guess since he didn't die, we're just always kind of going to be sitting here like, when's Rick come back? When's Rick come back? Like, in our heads. And I feel like I was saying at the beginning, in this day and age, I feel like we'll find out like on Twitter or social media before it happens. I don't know how many more seasons of the show they plan to do. But it really didn't end in like him dramatically dying or getting bit or passing away in Daryl or Michonne's arms. But it looks like they've all kind of accepted the fact that he's dead, or they're not. I'm sure they looked for him, of course. I'm sure they followed the water all the way down and didn't find him anywhere in there. I'm sure they searched and searched and searched. Now, the comment that Michonne made of like, I haven't given up, I don't know what that could refer to anything. I don't know if that's like on a search for Rick. What's his name? Gabriel knows what's up with the what's ups. He might not know where the location is or what the whole bartering situation is, but he does know that, hey, Anne is missing. We think Rick has died, but I know she was trading human lives for blank, blank, blank. I know they're in this area. We should look for it, but why would it take them that many years to kind of get on it? I don't know. It also looked like I don't know if that was the hilltop or the kingdom's walls were a lot higher. Negan is still locked up. It looks like he's kind of, I mean, just from that 30-second clip, he's kind of mentally maybe more stable. And him and Judith kind of have some relationship going on there, because it looked like he was talking, I don't know, you could cut that however you want. It could be Michonne talking to him or whoever, but it looked like Judith was talking to Negan. I'm interested to kind of see what kind of state is the sanctuary in, because we never saw, I mean, I guess we kind of know who won. That little squabble there at camp when the sanctuary people came with their guns, did we just like kill all those people there? Where's Oceanside? Did any of them die in that little exchange? What's going on at the sanctuary? Are y'all still supplying them with goods and foods? Did they just kind of die off? Did we just decide, hey, everybody that's in there, let's move out of the sanctuary and distribute you guys evenly to the other communities? Did they find another community to put them in where they could grow their own things? There's just a lot of loose ends and questions, because I'm sure we're going to get answered. It wasn't as an emotional heartstring episode as I thought we were going to get. I thought last episode was, with the Rick and Daryl conversation and talking to Eugene and Carol, were kind of like their last conversations on screen. And him and Michonne didn't have an exchange for a while. We never got to, because like there were so many loose ends that were never really like tied up. He never really even, him and Judith never even really got to like, because she was so young that they never really had those like conversations that like him and Carl had. Like, I don't know if I'm holding out hope that like Rick's gonna come back and him and Judith are gonna hit it off and he's gonna come back and lead the group and we're gonna do all these things. Because I don't even know what the current contract negotiations are. Like I said, I saw on Twitter right before this episode. I didn't go on Twitter because, you know, that was just going to be Spoil City. But like trending, or like on Facebook, it was like trending on the side. It's like Rick Grimes is going to star in his own, I don't know if it's a 3-series movie or 3 separate movies. Now again, who knows when those are coming out? A. B, is that in place of him ever returning to the show again? C, has he come out and said, or has anything been stated that, hey, he's never coming back to the show? So I don't know. And then if he does the movies, are we picking up from right when he got in that helicopter? Are we maybe skipping back in time when, like, with a young Carl, young Lori before it all happened? Like, where are we picking up in the timeline? Are those movies actually confirmed, or was that just some like random news that got leaked that's false? I don't know. There's just a lot of loose questions there. But I'm guessing from what I just saw at that end of the episode, which is pretty much what we're talking about here, is the end. We've kind of already recapped like the Herschel and the Sasha. I feel like Sasha was a random one. Because I feel like it would have been more impactful if maybe it was like a Glenn. But again, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes contract-wise, so maybe they wanted to go a Glenn or Lori or Carl route, but it was too kind of messy, and maybe Sasha was the easiest one to get. Who knows? But the Herschel thing, that was good, and the fact that he died earlier this year, I forget the actor's real name. That was pretty good. Seeing Shane is always great, and just to have them having that conversation again, like they were having before when they were trying to decide, like, you don't make the rules, I make the rules, or you need to be like this, or we don't have to be like this. It was just classic, like season 1, season 2 stuff that was so good. Again, like I stated in the reaction, I would have loved to see how things would have played out if Shane was still in the group, but I feel like Carol made in the statement before they took over the prison, the group would have never made it that far or lasted that long with Shane alive / in charge. But I feel like when we came up against the governor and Negan and the whole Terminus and whatever else, having Shane alive during those times, those things would have gone real differently. But I don't think the group ever would have made it there had he been alive. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to recap. I don't know if I'm in denial. Like, is Andrew Lincoln ever coming back to the Walking Dead TV show? I have no idea. And I'm interested to see kind of how the TV show carries itself. So they said the next 3 episodes. So I'm guessing we're going to do a little half season here again. What they're going to cut off again and pick back up in like October. Or not October, they pick up in the spring. Like April or whatever it is. Because they usually do 8 episodes. Yeah, so that was 5, so 6, 7, 8. I feel like people are going to tune in next week for sure, because they want to see like what just happened. They want to see like the grown-up Judith. They want to see what's going on. So I'm interested, and I feel like that was a good spot right there. I feel like the viewership will still hold for these next 3 episodes, and for that premiere that comes after the mid-season finale break. I'm interested to kind of see what really carries the show after that. Because us as viewers, we know Rick's alive, we know him and Ann's out there, but us as viewers also know that Rick or Andrew Lincoln is no longer doing the show. So it's kind of like what are we doing? What are we really doing? I'm gonna watch the show regardless. I don't know if we'll do any more reactions or anything like that. You guys let me know if you want to see Walking Dead reactions. We'll put them up. We watch it every Sunday it comes out. Yeah, I kind of don't really know what. I feel like the episode was missing something. Like there's something I need to put my finger on, but I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like it lacked that like heart-wrenching emotion, because it might be the last time we ever see him on screen, but they left it open to where he can come back. So you kind of have like hope in the back of your head, so you're not as disappointed. I don't know. Now I need to go on Twitter and look at all the spoilers and reviews and summaries and find out the news and what's in contract negotiations and what's not, and kind of formulate what I think is going to happen in the future. But overall, it's been a good episode. This season has been a lot better than last season. Dialogue alone. And we've gotten some pretty cool shots, and it should be some good times. Is there anything we left out? I'm just kind of really interested to see where my biggest questions are. Where is Rick located? It has to be close within the vicinity. I'm saying within a couple hours. And then B, since a good like 3 to 5 years have passed, how has he never made his way back? Would be my 2 biggest questions. Clearly he's not going to show up anytime soon because he's no longer with the show. But it would be like a why thing. Why did he not make his way back? Maybe once you get brought in, you don't leave. We still don't know what the difference between an A and a B is, and unless Anne shows up, we probably never will find out. I'm guessing an A is someone that's not injured, and B is someone that is, or an A is someone that's more alpha, leader, dominant, and a B is someone that's weaker and injured as well. Was Anne someone that lived in that community and decided to leave, but in turn of her getting to leave, she had to trade people with them? Or did they come across her one time in a helicopter? And I don't know. We could be here talking for hours. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode. I thought it was pretty solid. I feel like it kind of left some things to be desired, some kind of loose strings. But maybe that's what they wanted to go for. I'm not sure. Like, share, favorite, subscribe, guys. All the links are up here. Check back for some more reactions we'll have later this week. Hopefully this will go up Monday night. And as always,